Welcome to another edition of the Business and Personal Podcast, where we bring you closer to the people that you do business with. And we have a very interesting young entrepreneur on with us today. We're joined by Cory Mazure. He's the co-founder of JoyJobs, and a very interesting outlook on using technology to connect people with the best jobs that are the best fit for them. So first of all, Cory, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you having me on the show here.
So it's the Business and Personal Podcast. So you're not too far out of college here, but tell us tell us a little bit about your background, about yourself, and what led you to starting JoyJobs.
Yeah, I graduated from Kettering University with that engineering degree, and through that program, I was put through several internships where I got exposure to the workforce. And in those interactions, I learned that one of the big struggles for my generation is finding meaningful work that you feel connected to your passions and that you're inspired to go give it your all. And through that journey, I wanted to start my own business where I could help connect potential job seekers with opportunities that they're more passionate about. So that's kind of the background behind starting JoyJobs and the reason why I decided to create some of these softwares.
Sounds like an awesome mission. And a lot of times nowadays you hear about employers that are having trouble finding employees. You don't hear a lot about someone on the other end helping the employees kind of navigate that process, but you're kind of helping both sides of it, really, with what you're doing, connecting the right people with the right jobs. So just kind of in your simplest terms, explain how JoyJobs works for a potential job seeker.
Yeah, so we have several offerings for job seekers. There's two main ones. One would be a career discovery tool. This one's called Career AI, and it's essentially a survey that you would take, and it helps find the potential career paths that you would be interested in pursuing further. And this is a tool that is self-guided, and it gives you prompts and further topics to reflect on so that you could consider a pivot in your career path or decide what types of jobs you should actually be applying for. And that's our first tool. There's a second tool that is a resume optimization tool. And this is once that person's ready to start applying to their jobs. This is a tool that will help fine-tune that resume for each application and make it more likely that you get an interview.
It's crazy. The more and more things we see AI can do every day, and why the heck not in something like this? Use those keywords to connect people with that exact best fit for them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really putting a focus on the resume tool right now because we've seen how difficult it is in the current market for actually landing interviews with how popular so many online job boards are. These companies are getting flooded with applicants, and it's hard for them to identify who's actually worth interviewing, and it leads to a lot of frustration for the job seeker.
Technology makes some things easier and some things more challenging in some cases. So, it's awesome as a job seeker. You can easily, quickly find all these jobs that are available. You don't need to get the newspaper and go through all the want ads anymore. So, that part of it's easy. But do you think in some cases technology also makes it more difficult for job seekers?
Yeah, it's kind of goes through ups and downs, I would say. In the past, there was something called LinkedIn Easy Apply that got created. So a long time ago, you'd have to fill out all these applications by hand, and many websites still make you do that, where it's manual, you're putting the same information in. But LinkedIn made this tool where it's an easy apply, one or two clicks, you get your resume in there. And that was great for the job seeker, where now it's a lot easier, but there's a consequence of that where the companies now have hundreds of people applying to the same job. So you can see that on LinkedIn. If you look at certain jobs, it's like 200 people applied or 800 people applied. So how do you think that company is going to look through every candidate and give them a fair chance? It's just, there's too much volume there.
So on your website, you talk a lot about the application tracking system and trying to avoid getting hung up in the application tracking system. Kind of explain a bit about that and how you can avoid getting hung up in it.
Yeah, so the applicant tracking system is kind of something designed by those companies to help screen out candidates and save them the effort of looking through every application and find really the right candidate to be put in a phone screening and then an interview. So one of the biggest things when it comes to the applicant tracking system that job seekers need to know about is it's just a software that's looking at the input document, being your resume, and it's trying to parse out information. And these softwares are not extremely advanced where they struggle sometimes with formatting. So if you have a resume that is not in a standard format, which is usually a Microsoft Word document that's segmented by headers and bullet points, then this system might struggle to find the right aspects of your resume, and it may appear that you're underqualified for a role even if you're not. So my biggest advice to job seekers would be to make sure that your resume is in a format that would be legible by these systems.
So many little things like that maybe that people don't think about, but Chat GPT, that's another thing. We hear all these great things about. Why couldn't you use that for your resume? I'm sure that's part of what your process is as well, right?
Yeah, we've heard a lot of people saying that they are trying to use that, and there's definitely use cases for ChatGPT, but when it comes to resume optimization, it's pretty lackluster because it has a really hard time telling the truth. You have to feed it a lot of prompts and rework it when you're asking it to do updates, because it's trying to make you look the best that you can, but it doesn't really have a good grasp of your prior experience and what you've actually accomplished. So many times it will fib a bit, and then that's not what you want on your resume, because then you get to the interview and they realize you're not as qualified as you made yourself seem on paper.
So your systems have figured out the flaws in the Chat GPT process and have it basically output a cleaner resume when someone uses the JoyJobs system.
Yeah, we have a much more advanced model that is custom tailored for the resume optimization process, and it produces much more truthful bullet points relevant to your prior experience. So we're very proud of that and how much time it could save a job seeker with the updating their resume.
So, Cory, what could someone expect with the JoyJobs experience? Is your expectation that they could get a job quicker if they used your system than just trying to do it on their own?
Yeah, we do believe that for sure. We have had a lot of case studies and people that we've met through our marketing outreach that have said that it's really made an impact, where they were going cold for a while, not getting any interviews, and then in just a couple of weeks getting many callbacks. So we're very proud of that. And the biggest thing that we think is an advantage for our tool is the amount of time it could save with that process, so you can get more resumes out, and it's also helping you produce a higher quality resume. So a couple standout features is that if you don't have an optimal resume format, our software will actually convert it into a docx file that is legible by the ATS, and then in the background it'll be updating some of your keywords so that you look more qualified. And those put together should really give you a good chance of getting the jobs that you are qualified for, but on paper have been struggling to articulate your value.
So all sounds like amazing stuff. I'm sure anybody that's still listening to this is very interested in your services and seeing how they can help them find a job. So what is the best way to get in touch and get started on the process?
Yeah, absolutely. For JoyJobs, to get access to our softwares, you just go to joyjobs.ai. That's spelled JoyJobs.ai. And on that website, you can make a free account and use the Career AI and Resume AI tool for free. There are some premium features for creating more resumes, but we make our services accessible to everyone to start, and you get access to that first resume for free with our service.
Sounds fantastic, Cory. I love seeing young entrepreneurs come up with great ideas like this, especially using real life situation that you went through to help others. So best of luck moving forward, and keep us posted on how things are going.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan.